Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim, and in this episode I'd like to speak about Zeno Watches, Zeno Watches Basel. It's my first time that I come across this brand, and the reason for this is you as a viewer of the channel. And he wrote me an email and he said, look, I've bought this Explorer, Rolex Explorer homage, Zeno Watch Basel, and it looks pretty good to me, and it looks like a watch you could enjoy and you could present on the channel. Maybe this is your taste. And I've seen that images and I thought, yes, 100% that I want this watch on the channel. And then you said, okay, pass me your address, I will send it to you. You can keep it as long as you want. And I was a little bit puzzled and honored in that way. And I realized, wow, those are the moments when you see that it's really a privilege to run a YouTube channel, because people trust you and are extremely friendly and helpful. And so thank you very much for this opportunity to review that watch. This is the classic 36mm plexiglass Rolex Explorer homage. And this watch has an interesting movement inside. There you find an AS movement. AS stands for Adolf Schild, and this was the ETA company before ETA, prior to ETA. So they produced movements for other manufacturers, for other brands. And Zeno Watches found then in their stock couple of hundreds of those old movements from the 70s, so new old stock movements are working in this watch right now. Second fact, they want to discontinue that watch. They want to make it larger with a sapphire crystal ETA movement inside. So this is one of the last new watches of that, from that line. And the question now is there enough substance to justify a buy? Because the watch, what was the retail price? I think around 500 euros. Is there enough substance for that? I mean, Zeno Watches is an old company in Switzerland with some tradition behind it. You have this interesting movement inside, so those are good features. But let's check in the light box if the ensemble can convince us. Okay, here we are with our Zeno Watch Basel, the super precision. And first let's go over the basics of the watch. We have a steel watch, so steel case, steel bracelet entirely. And the crystal is plexiglass. You have here a high polished bezel. The watch case itself is a mixture of polished sides and and brushed lugs, as you can see. The measurements are very easy. 36mm is the diameter, 20 is the lug width. Height of the case is 14.5, relatively thick case, as you can see here. And the length overall is 44mm. So this is a watch especially interesting for people with smaller wrists. Okay, and now let's discuss the dial a little bit. You see here a black dial following the tradition of those watches, following the style, the genre, legibility overall. And so you have the little triangle on 12 and the 3, 6 and 9 as numbers, and very legible indices here with very high contrast. Then you have the little Zeno Watch logo there. And this dial, of course, is the main feature here, the main distinction to other watches. And you find those types of dials on many watches, but it really works. It really works. And you may notice that the dial is relatively small compared to other dials, or if you see the case size, relatively small dial. But here it fits, because you have the impression that the watch tries to protect the main mechanism, the movement and the numerals, the numbers. So you have a little fortress on your wrist. I really like that impression, to be frank. And of course there you find some beauty with the hands. This nice second hand here with the lume dot, and the cathedral hour hand relatively short. The minute hand very precise, very long, so there is no doubt about the exact time here. So I really like those dials, or this type of watch. And here you see the crown with a little logo, which is the Swiss flag, I think, the Swiss cross here. Very interesting to look at. You may notice that the case form is very close to the original, so very Rolex-ish case form, a little bit thicker, I think. I think the Explorer isn't 14.5, but rather, I don't know, 13, 14, I'm not sure. And here's the bracelet, entirely brushed bracelet. Very basic, I must say, very basic bracelet. Follows the look of an Oyster bracelet. Some people mentioned that the transition between bracelet and case is not perfect. Might be, but I've seen worse. The end links here are hollow, and so no solid end links. It's quite a shame that they don't have drilled lug holes. This would be really great. This would be really great. But overall, you see the look of the entire ensemble is very classy. It's very close to the original, but with own charm, I must say. I really like that watch. I really like that watch. Look at this. It looks really, really cool. And the clasp is, people will hate that. This is an old clasp type from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Let's face it, this is not a modern clasp in any form. Very, very basic. I personally don't have a problem with that because I like my Jubilee bracelet with that type of clasp. I mean, the thing works, but people are used to buy better bracelet with better clasps nowadays. And so this is clearly, if you want to be picky, this is then the major minus in my eyes. This clasp type. And here's the case back, and there you have this beautiful logo, the Zeno aircraft, and there's the reference number and everything, automatic watch, all stainless steel, so what we are used to see on case backs. Waterproof up to 5 atmospheres. This is not much. This is a little bit surprising because we have a screw down crown and everything. Well, but okay. Okay, let's operate it. Screw down crown. And then you have, there's a strange thing here. You have position, I think, there it is. You have position 1 because the AS movement was supposed to power a date as well. And so you have here the position 1. You see this quite often with watches. Stover did it over a long time. Then some people complained and then they stopped with that, and now modern Stovers don't have this position 1 anymore. This old movement has it still, and I think from me this is more minus. I don't like this so much, but okay, let's get over it. Provides hand winding. Feels very substantial. Feels like a tank, to be frank. And here is position 2. And here you can set the time now. And this is unusual. This is very tankish as well. You need some force. And by the way, it's not a hacking movement. The seconds are still running. And you wrote me that you can manipulate a little bit. If you make like this, then you can stop the seconds. See that? You can stop it, and then you can set the time absolutely precisely. So I must say, this feels completely different compared to an EDA or cylinder movement. A cylinder movement is extremely flimsy in my experience. There you don't need any force to manipulate there something. EDA is a little bit stiffer, and this thing here is really stiff, really stiff. You're really under the impression that you're moving something. You're moving a piece of machinery. I mean, the other explanation could be that there's something wrong with the lubrication, but I doubt that because it's a new watch, and so this is hard to believe. And they had quite some work with every single movement, because an NOS movement you cannot just put in the watch. You have to disassemble it. Basically, you have to service it. At least you have to renew the entire lubrication, and so I think this is in good working order here. Okay, let's put it on the wrist now. By the way, you sent me some extra links to enlarge the bracelet, but I don't have to. My wrists are 17 centimeters, and this is precisely the size for this watch right now, so I had to change nothing, luckily, because I don't want to manipulate with tools with a borrowed watch. So I'm very happy that the thing fits like that, and you can see this in a second. Let me put it on the wrist. Okay, there it is. There it is on my 17 centimeter wrist. Look at this. I mean, this is perfection, ladies and gentlemen. This, when it comes to sizes, watch sizes, and fit of bracelets, is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. If you're tired here to keep that watch, if you don't want it anymore, then let me know. I mean, look at this. This is really a good looking watch on Caseback Tim's wrist. Yagida. Pretty comfortable, by the way, pretty comfortable. Really, you feel robustness, and yeah, very cool thing. Very cool thing. And so before I try to buy now this watch from you, let's go back. Let's leave it that way. Okay, welcome back, and now let's answer the question, is there enough substance in the watch to justify a buy? And for me personally, yes, I think so. I'm not willing to pay that insane amount of money for a Rolex Explorer. The other alternatives I find very compelling, like the time factors. The Smith's Everest is a very compelling watch, but very often sold out, and some people are really frustrated about that. And so if you see this watch in good condition, with a good price tag on it, yeah, I would buy it. I think I would buy it. But this watch, of course, I will return right now, and so if you're watching this, then the watch will be in the mail, unscratched and unharmed. Okay, that's all from my side. If you have made experiences with that model, and maybe you are also made experiences with the Smith's Everest, so that you can compare those watches, then please share your knowledge in the comments with us, then we can learn from you. And if you find my videos interesting and helpful, then please consider subscribing. It's super encouraging for me. And if you want to see more watches I find interesting, then please visit me on Instagram. It's caseback_Tim. And now let me thank you very much for your attention, and maybe until next time.